Hello, and welcome to the Source One podcast. Consider us your source for the latest procurement, supply management, and strategic sourcing insights. Anytime, anywhere. The holiday season is well underway, but that doesn't mean all is bright. Before friends, family, and good cheer comes the annual headache of holiday shopping. Just because you've purchased everything on your list doesn't mean your work is over. After all, you've still got to make sure those gifts get where they're going, and fast. Today we're joined by Source One consultant Leigh Merz to discuss how the holidays affect small parcel shipping. As you'll hear, companies feel the holiday rush just like us shoppers. Leigh?
With the holidays approaching, determining the most cost-effective way to send a small parcel shipment can be cumbersome. Although typically shipments are sent with one of the two leading global players, there are numerous cost elements associated based on what you're shipping, where you're shipping to and from, and when you want your shipment to arrive, and so forth. Therefore, how does one ensure both an optimal sourcing engagement and competitive pricing when approaching the market, as well as choosing the ideal shipping methodology? As a sourcing professional, understanding the impacts market shifts have to pricing and supplier viability is key in making recommendations to my clients. A standard practice I pursue is conducting a benchmarking exercise. Benchmarking is used to analyze a company's current state in terms of existing category spending behaviors and requirements, as well as how it compares to what the market is offering similarly profiled customers. This process also establishes necessity versus wants to uncover opportunities to remove unneeded services or optimize the use of a supplier, whether through an incumbent or alternate. The result really allows me to provide an informed recommendation on the best choice supplier from both a qualitative and quantitative perspective, while encouraging adopting industry best practices, allowing for better controls of company spending. That being said, let me share some of the small parcel service and pricing elements I typically incorporate into a benchmark assessment with their corresponding considerations. First is supply base. A major factor when looking at the following elements is who the suppliers are that should be assessed and what are they offering. As mentioned, there are two primary suppliers that must be included in this benchmark, UPS and FedEx. Although there is a comparative translation between services, in terms of pricing, tariff rates for these suppliers are not the same year over year, so looking at net pricing and discounts is not really a true apples-to-apples comparison. You must understand the correlation in both pre- and post-discount costs. Also, which suppliers can successfully support both existing requirements and offer additional solutions that can enhance and improve business operations. It might end up being a smaller, more regional player, so make sure to take a step back and think about this before jumping in. Next would be time of day. Supplier pricing and incentives vary based on when you want a package to arrive. Usually earlier deliveries are most costly with minimal opportunity to discount. Therefore, you should understand the impact of selecting a later timing service that can result in the same actual delivery time and offer improved net shipping rates. Of course, depending on where you're shipping from. Make sure to also factor in cost impacts by centralizing shipping within a specific zone and trying to accommodate a standard time of day. Next are weight factors. Understanding a package's dimensional weight application encourages shipping more efficiently. As DIM calculations are applied to all packages, make sure to understand the pricing variables and incentives available for all weight groups within each shipment category. Although ground is a creature of its own, typically air shipments should be streamlined when looking at available discounts. Then we have surcharges. How and when surcharges are applied can have a pricey impact to overall costs. Encourage your suppliers to compensate you in order to alleviate these sometimes ignored costs. Some examples would be the additional charges and associated discounts for weekend deliveries, and comparing commercial versus residential delivery fees and incentives. Finally, some other cost considerations would be ancillary account fees or contractual commitments that can pop up based on supplier requirements, such as minimal package volumes or revenue streams with pickup requests, each with an impact to your overall spend. Any contract that is implemented should break down how these costs are established and what the supplier is willing to offer to offset these costs. Comparing alternate approaches to how these charges and fees are established and incentivized can provide visibility into negotiation tactics as you move forward with sourcing this category. As I mentioned, the benchmark will help you to uncover your current shipping profile with more clarity and will allow you to narrow down your actual need while identifying opportunities for contracting with your incumbent or approaching an alternate. It will guide you to have better controls in place for when and how shipments are sent and produce reduced spending. Thanks for spending time with me today, and happy holidays!
Thanks, Leigh. You've been listening to the Source One podcast. For more procurement insights all year long, check out our blog, The Strategic Sorcerer. Want to provide feedback or suggest a topic for a future episode? Let us know at prrequest@sourceoneinc.com. Happy holidays!